Kicking off our list of the worst maps in COD history, at number 10 is Stonehaven in Call of Duty Ghosts. And this is a massive map from the 2013 release, Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, I'll be the first to admit that this map is absolutely gorgeous, and it would have been perfect for ground war, or maybe something even bigger like 12v12. However, in a regular 6v6 Call of Duty match, this map, it was a nightmare due to its size. No amount of visual spectacle can take away from the painfully slow pace and the campy playstyles that this map actually encouraged. And it was almost always voted against when it came up in rotation. So just because a map is beautiful does not mean that that map is actually playable. Definitely deserves a spot on this list today. At number 9, we have Drone in Black Ops 2. Despite the fact that Black Ops 2 is a fan favorite game, it's had its fair share of awful maps, and Drone is perhaps the worst of the bunch. Drone is a pretty large map with 2 lanes full of corners and cover in crowded areas, and then you have the middle lane with absolutely no cover where the snipers would go just to kill each other over and over again. The map looks pretty cool, but it plays terrible as the flow is all over the place due to the varying areas. At number 8, we have Wasteland in Modern Warfare 2. This map is a bit of a mixed bag as it plays out pretty well as long as no one gets any kill streaks. It is a sniper's paradise, and the bunker in the middle of the map makes for some pretty intense close-range engagements. However, the hate that this map gets comes from the kill streaks. Because the map is so wide open, there is pretty much no way of avoiding a Chopper, Harrier, or AC-130, and if someone gets started on those streaks on this map, it was only a matter of time before they got the infamous game-ending nuke. At number 7, we have Overgrown in Call of Duty 4. This large map was introduced in COD 4, but also saw returns in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare Remastered. While Overgrown is heaven for snipers, it's hell for pretty much anybody else, as it's full of long sight lines and head glitches for people to lock down objectives from seemingly miles away. Because the map is so sniper heavy, it is often leading to people just camping in the buildings until the map ends, because they know the second they peek out, they are going to get popped in the head. At number 6, we have a very, very new addition to the Call of Duty universe, Gustav Cannon in Call of Duty World War II. Easily the most hated map in this newest Call of Duty title, Gustav Cannon is a massive map. Much like Stonehaven, it would have been great for ground war, but in a standard 6v6, it is painfully slow and campy. Plus, the way the spawns work on this map are an absolute nightmare, as a sniper in the center of the map can basically spawn trap the entire enemy team. At one point, Michael Condrey himself even joked on Twitter about banning cheaters to a Gustav-only playlist. And you know the map is bad when the head developers acknowledge it. Cracking into the top 5, and I want to know, what do you consider the worst map in COD history? You guys let me know in the comment section. Aftermath. Is it Aftermath? Did you say that one? Black Ops 2. Perhaps the only map in Black Ops 2 which was worse than the flow of Drone was Aftermath. It's another visually cool map with different styles of lanes that really just serve to screw up the spawns and the pacing of the match. This map takes place in a very futuristic destroyed section of LA, which is a cool concept, but the blend of broken buildings, the strange placement of high ground, and the dimly lit areas that campers have a field day in just destroyed all the fun that ever could have been had on Aftermath. At number 4, we have Downturn in Modern Warfare 3. Speaking of maps set in a destroyed city, Downturn is one of the least played maps in Modern Warfare 3, as it too featured a cool map concept but terrible execution for many of the same reasons. Downturn featured tons of camping spots, awkwardly placed paths throughout destroyed buildings, and areas of high ground that were more confusing than actually helpful. Let's hope, with Black Ops 4 going to be in a modern setting, that we get a good destroyed city map this time around. At number 3, we have Outpost in Modern Warfare 3. And speaking of Modern Warfare 3, this was another fan unfavorite from the conclusion of the Modern Warfare trilogy. Outpost had a very interesting concept, as it was a base covered with snow in the middle of a storm, but that was the problem. Because of the snowstorm, it made it insanely hard to see enemies from a distance unless you had a sniper, and if you did have a sniper, you were on the team that spawned at the sniper tower. It was pretty much game over right after the bat. Unbalanced, unfun, and overall just a bad use of a cool concept for a multiplayer map. At number 2, we have the darkest map in Call of Duty history, Nightfire in World at War. Now, World at War is a fantastic game, and many consider it to be the best Call of Duty game set during the Second World War. However, it's had its fair share of bad maps, and Nightfire is easily the worst of them all. The layout of the map itself wasn't all that bad, but what killed it was the lighting. Since the map is set during the nighttime, it is virtually impossible to see enemies who are sitting in the shadows, and that is exactly what people would do. Sit in the shadows. Nightfire was perhaps the best map ever for campers, and that's what made it so hated by everybody else. And finally, there was never a doubt in my mind when we did this list what was going to be number 1. Free Fall in Call of Duty Ghosts. And this finishes up our list. It's a motion sickness inducing map. This thing, once again, it was a cool concept as it had you fighting in a skyscraper as it was falling apart. But the constant shifting of the camera, the terrible lighting, and the awkward leveling of the whole thing made it more annoying than fun. And I don't think anybody actually ever enjoyed this map. And if you did enjoy it, I want you to tell me why you did in the comment section. I'm sure everybody wants to know. And there you have it, my friends. Those are 10 of the worst maps in COD history. You let us know where we got it right, where did we get it wrong, what maps did we leave out that deserved to be on this list. My name is Chaos. This has been another episode of Gaming Facts by Gameology, and I'll see you guys soon.